Hello! Welcome to Casual Shenanigans Gaming, a podcast all about all things PC gaming related. I am one of your hosts, JERMgaming. I have just now seen that the video is cut off weirdly in OBS and half of Joel's face is missing. So, can everyone else see that?
Fine, then, actually.
So overall, an improvement for the podcast.
Everyone else can see that though, right? Like, that's not just me?
Let me take a look.
Go look at the stream. It looks funny. We are off to a lovely start. Lovely start.
Haha, Joel looks funny.
Oh, is that better? Hold on. No, this will work. Blah blah blah.
People are gonna love listening to the start of this.
Oh, they are. This is what
all
the
of
people...
our podcast intros have gone down since streaming.
You think they have?
Yeah, they have. Because they're all like, "Hey guys, about streaming and streaming stuff," and got cut off, and then streaming.
All right, well, we're just gonna. Well, see, now it bothers me now.
It's just the man calling from a Mac built-in webcam.
Oh,
Joel,
hey, it's better. It's better now. It's better. Okay, cool.
I can almost see Joel's face through all the MPEG compression. Almost. wait, Joel, hold still. No movement. There you are. I see you through all that compression.
Yeah, Joel, the podcast last week was like 15 FPS and like 1 megabit per second. It was 720p.
It was dark. Don't remember. It was dark
dreams. In Apple's dreams.
No, my camera is not 720p. I have the older MacBook.
Oh, well, good, because it wasn't anywhere close. So I rendered that out in 720p for nothing. Thanks a lot, jerk.
You couldn't have told the quality of it and gone, "Oh, this is not 720p."
What am I going to do? Look up the webcam settings, like the encoding settings for a Mac webcam?
No, you just briefly look at the footage and go, "Oh, that's not 720p."
Google Hangouts saved it at 720p. Because I told it could do HD. Anyway, so that's the beginning of the podcast. I am your host, JERMgaming. Tonight we are joined by Dave.
Hey folks, I am Dave, the not so evil Viking 13.
Joel.
And I'm Joel.
And special guest Synthetic67.
Hey guys.
And Synthetic, just welcome to the podcast. As you can tell, this is very professional. As Scanner Barkley has pointed out, we are not actually playing Titanfall. I will take that off of Twitch, and we will continue. But yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're going to be talking to you more about what you do in particular in a little bit. But for now, let's start the podcast as we most of the time always do with the news. Now,
news time.
I'm starting that.
Thank you.
I did that last time, so I got to do this.
Make it a thing. Before we start the news, Joel, or Dave, I know you're not much of a beer drinker, Dave, but Coffee House Stout. It is coffee beer. I'm just throwing that out there. It is delicious.
Why coffee beer when you can have actual coffee?
Why have coffee when you could have coffee beer? See, it goes both ways.
You make a good argument.
The argument goes both ways.
Coffee ale.
They do.
Coffee brandy.
You can probably get coffee, anything. But we're going to start with graphics card news. So we talked about Vesuvius last week, the R9 295X2, which is two R9 290s. Yes, R9 290Xs on one PCB with built-in water cooling. Now the prices have been released, and they are $1,500 a piece, which sounds pretty extreme considering that most 290Xs are going for like $650. But the Titan Z is $3,000, so AMD is still half the price of that ridiculousness. And I was actually wrong. I said there's no way it's going to be as fast as two 295 or 290Xs. It actually is. It is literally two 290Xs on one PCB. They didn't cut anything. They didn't cut speed. Actually, they boosted the speed from 1,000 to 1,018 megahertz. I don't know why they would why would they go the extra 18 megahertz. What's the point of that? But they did. And it is water cooled, and the water cooling works well. And the benchmark numbers, it is by far the fastest card that's ever been made.
Yeah, AMD has definitely impressed me this time around. That's a lot of power crammed into one card.
And it runs at like under 70 degrees Celsius under load.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, considering the 290Xs run at like 95 C all the time, that's pretty good. So we'll see if you can actually buy any of these, and we'll see if they drop in price or something. Like, I'm not saying this is a good $1,500 buy. I mean, because you're still going to have crossfire issues and stuff. If there were going to be crossfire issues with the game, you'll still have them. AMD is trying to play this off as this is the fastest single card ever released. Yeah, it's a physical single card, but it's not a single card. It's 2 cards on a PCB. It's seen as 2 cards, and you could have issues if you have issues with dual card designs. So,
yeah, driver-wise, it's still definitely Crossfire.
yeah. So NVIDIA apparently felt like the 295 X2 being released was a good time to try to take some of the wind out of AMD's sales, and they are leaking details about the GTX 880. It's time for another generation jump here. The 880 is moving from GK110, which is the kind of chipset they've been working off of, to the GM204. They call it Maxwell. I don't think it really matters. Like, I don't care about the other names. But this is going to be probably like a 15% boost over the 780 Ti. It has 32...
Wait, only 15%?
Yeah. It's it's a replacement for the 780, which is a replacement for the 680.
It's not a huge next-gen jump, then.
Well, no, it's always a 15 to 20% jump on the flagship card, and then it filters down. I mean, that's just how things go. So the...
Really?
Yeah, the 870 will be...
When did the 700 series come out, then?
Last year. This is always how it works.
Every year is only 15% jump?
Yeah, the 680 was like 15% faster than a 580, and then my 770 is a 680, and a 870 will really be a 780 rebadged. That's how they do it. They release one flagship card, everything else gets rebadged, dropped in price, and bumped down.
Okay, I guess what I was thinking is I guess the 700 was a little bit longer, like 2 years or something, so I was surprised there was only 15% boost.
That's very normal.
I guess 15% boost to the highest card right now that NVIDIA has is a 780, right? Mm-hmm. Outside of the Titan, which I don't even care about.
Right.
Okay, cool. I was just curious.
It's going to be good. It's got 3,200 CUDA cores versus 2,880 on the 780 Ti. Base clocks go from 875 and 928 to 900 and 950 megahertz.
They're really having a hard time pushing those clock speeds.
They are. Memory is going from 7 gigahertz, which is already pretty crazy, to 7.4. The memory bandwidth is actually quite a bit lower. It's 238 gigabit per second versus 336 gigabit per second on the Ti, but that's because they're using a 256-bit memory bus versus a 384-bit bus that the Ti has. If you don't care about any of that, really all you need to be worried about is that it will probably be faster. It'll probably be the same price. Everything is going to drop in price eventually, like it does every single time. I mean, this is a very expected upgrade.
I think that bandwidth is going to hurt higher res like 4K.
No, there's no way NVIDIA would be releasing the next flagship card that wasn't ready for 4K.
That's true.
I mean, it'd be really stupid of them not to. I'm assuming they've just found out ways around it, and this benefits them in some way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because with where the prices of graphics cards have been going lately, I mean, they could just bump the price up and people would still buy it, so who cares? Dave, are you up to date on all the Shadowplay updates?
I have only used them briefly, so...
Do you know what they are?
There were updates to Twitch streaming and a bunch of changes for the codec too, right?
Yeah, I was going to give you the opportunity if you wanted to do this because I know you love Shadowplay, but if you're not, I have the article in front of me.
Yeah, go for it, because I haven't actually had a chance to play with it a whole lot this week yet.
Okay, all right. They've released GeForce Experience 2.0. It's introduced some cool stuff like Shadowplay desktop capture, so you can look forward to a lot of really crummy YouTube tutorials that now use the power of Shadowplay.
Oh, so you don't have to actually be in a game to record?
Well, no. Desktop recording, like you're recording your physical desktop.
No, that's what I mean. So, like, you don't have to have a game running, right?
Right, and there's plenty of desktop capture programs already out there, but none of them are as baked into your overall experience as Shadowplay will be. Yeah, that is cool.
So does that mean Dave doing the backup recording for this, could he use that instead?
No, not yet, because Shadowplay still does not support multiple audio streams, which is why I use DxTory to record the podcast, is because my microphone is actually separate from you guys. So if we had to clean up audio some, it would be a little bit cleaner.
Okay, cool.
And then they've introduced Shadowplay for notebooks and Shield game stream support for notebooks. So if you have a compatible laptop, you can now use both those features. Let me see. Oh, the Twitch streaming. Really, the Twitch streaming just adds all the controls you've had over the regular recording, the bitrate, frame rate, everything like that, you can now do for Twitch.
Yeah.
Was anyone else a little bummed that there is no multiple audio feeds option yet? I can't believe they haven't done that yet.
Well, it's not there yet, but look at what they've added. Shadowplay went into beta in what? Wait, hold on. It was the end of October, right? Right around Battlefield 4's launch.
Yeah, it's a good update. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy with the update. I'm just surprised that I would have put multiple audio streams higher than some of the other features, but again, that could be just a small segment of the market that cares about that.
That may add more CPU or hard drive space overhead. They might want to like perfect their current codec settings first, like get all of their in the box features, and then start messing with more options for the actual like recording feed. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like get all of the UI features for overlays and ways that it can record your desktop and stuff, and then work on the actual final stage of the recording. But for that much dev in 5 months, not bad.
Yeah, I mean that's. Now, so it was officially in beta. Is it still in beta, but they're at version 2.0? Because that would seem kind of weird.
Yeah, I guess it is still in beta, technically.
It's in beta, but it's version 2.0 in beta. Neil, do you... Or, sorry, I said your first name on the podcast.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Neil, who lives at... no. Do you use Shadowplay at all?
I'm not even familiar with it, really, but no.
Okay, what do you use to record your stuff?
Primarily Fraps and the Elgato, and occasionally OBS as well.
Okay. Shadowplay is really, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card that's a 600 series or newer, Shadowplay just lets you record video using the built-in stream processors on the graphics card, so there's no CPU overhead.
Oh, wow.
And what's cool about it is you can run it in shadow mode, where it's always running in the background, not taking up, I mean, it's taking up like 5% of your performance, but nothing significant. And then if something cool happens in game, you can hit a button and save anywhere from 1 to like 20 minutes of footage of
that
what
already
just
happened.
That already happened.
Yeah.
So you can be playing Battlefield and save clips of cool stuff as it happens instead of just recording the whole time and having to go back and mess with stuff. So it's
yeah,
pretty
I've
cool.
had to do that, so that's pretty awesome.
yeah, I know for Dave especially, it's really revolutionized how he records clips, and you can record at 60 FPS.
Yes.
So you can, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Why are you cursing me, Jerm? Because I want a second 770. You've just said that you're getting like a 770 or 780 to replace your 660 Ti. Get over.
Use ass while you were cursing yourself. I think you were referring to Ultra Grunt there.
Wait, who did I say?
Yourself. You're like, why are you cursing me, Jerm?
Oh, sorry. Oh, because you said curse you, Jerm. Yeah. Ultra. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I knew what I meant.
Okay, podcast leader.
I do what I meant, not what I said I meant.
Amen.
Let's move on. So GameSpy is shutting down. Everyone who's old can breathe a sigh of, regret or whatever. A lot of people have been concerned about the Battlefield games because Bad Company 2, Battlefield 2, and 2142 have all run off of GameSpy servers. But Origin has said that they're working on transitioning those games after the shutdown, so you'll still be able to play them. So Origin or EA says they are going to work on making sure you can keep playing your old Battlefield games for forever, I guess. So
actually, Arma 2 and 3 both use GameSpy backend stuff in their server browsers and stuff like that. So Bohemia's having to patch Arma 2 and 3.
I've never seen anything GameSpy related in 3.
Yeah, that's what I saw, is that it uses something for 3, maybe just like an authentication server or something.
Okay, that would make sense.
So I heard that Bohemia is trying to move Arma 3 over to Steamworks entirely for the server browser and the plugin stuff.
Might as well. I mean, it's good.
Well, there's going to be a scramble from devs to fix this in a month. That's a pretty short amount of time to patch a game that some of them are old.
You'd want to think that they told people about this ahead of time, and we're just now hearing about it now. Right. That's
ever the optimist.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Like, most game service shutdowns are pretty quick. Like, I think I lost a copy of Grand Theft Auto 4. What was that old one that shut down, like, in the last couple of years? It was a fairly big one. This is not enough information for you to know what I'm talking about. There was one that I owned Grand Theft Auto 4 in, and I just, I tried to play it, and it was gone. Like, I couldn't find the service anywhere. I couldn't install it, nothing.
Nice.
And I just had to buy it again on Steam. Of course, it goes on sale, like, every 2 months, so it's not a big deal. But, like, it was just, all of a sudden, it was just gone. There was no warning. I never got any emails or anything. Like, it was just here, and now it's gone. So, at least they're telling people. I don't know.
Surprise.
Titanfall has a patch that came out today, supposedly.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
I
really
have not
cool.
checked to see if it's I haven't checked to see if it's
Working
here yet. Yeah, but they're launching a beta mode for private matches, supporting 2 to 12 players. Private matches will not contribute to XP or achievement or challenge progressions, though, so you can't like juice your way through it. Let me see. Hold on.
It's supposed to have tons of balance fixes and performance improvements too.
Yes,
Tons.
yeah. The 40mm Titan cannon, they're reducing from 20 rounds to 12 in the magazine, which makes a lot of sense because that gun is overpowered. And the extended mag, they're going from 25 to 16.
I love that thing.
They're buffing the quad rocket. A few other things. You can use mouse buttons for voice chat in lobbies. Titanfall will not override your Windows microphone settings.
That drove me nuts. Well, it drove you guys nuts more than me.
Yeah. And they improved support for SLI and Crossfire. So those are all good things. I mean, there's nothing like, I don't know. There's nothing that looks bad in that patch. I mean, we'll see if it all works, but maybe this will be a smooth game patching experience. Iceman, you're saying you've just watched episode 16 of The Wanderers. Correct me if I'm wrong. We don't have that many episodes up, do we?
I do.
You have that many?
Sucker.
Wait, how have you've been putting up a lot behind my back, I feel like.
Well, you've been slacking off, sir.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I have. Sorry for moving into a house. Screw me, right?
And working. All those,
I guess we'll have to play DayZ or
things.
something. Yeah, I guess we'll have to play DayZ and get more footage or whatever.
Actually, Iceman, I got a comment a few days ago from somebody who had actually discovered our older series from last year, our DayZ Breaking Bad series, where we're like horrible people, basically. And for some reason, just loved that series so much. He watched every single episode of Breaking Bad, what was it, Jeremiah, like 14 of them or so?
You're like, mine was 13 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was around 13 or 14. He watched all of those, and then like YouTube's like, hey, look, they've got more stuff from Standalone. And then he watched all of both of our Wanderer series too, like in a day.
True fan.
Yeah, that's some hardcore watching right there.
It's hard at the same time. Like, I almost feel bad for the dude. I'm not trying to sound mean, but like, that's a lot of DayZ. That's a lot of us DayZ all at one time.
Well, you know what I was thinking though? Like, do you remember when you used to like be sick from work or something? At least I know I never actually paid for like cable. I was too cheap for cable. So if I was homesick, like stuck on the couch, it was like, oh yeah, daytime broadcast television, great. It's cop shows.
The Price is Right. Here we go.
And The Price is Right, and like court shows. So it's kind of cool now. Like you can grab your smartphone or whatever and just watch whatever you want.
That's true.
So it could be something like that where it's stuck at home or whatever. Better than it used to be.
Yeah, I guess it's cool those options are available for people who want them. I guess this isn't very good advertising for our series. I just have a hard time believing someone would want to sit down and watch like 20 hours of us creeping through the bushes and robbing people. But Ultra, the reason there's not enough Joel in those series is Joel, the little douchebag, does this thing where he installs a game, plays it for a week, and then is like, and then uninstalls it, and then when everyone else wants to play, he's like, guys, I'd have to download it again. I just don't feel like it.
Every freaking time.
What's the game? What games are you talking about?
DayZ, the mod, Arma 2. How many times? How many times have you?
Definitely, yeah.
How many times have you reinstalled that? Like 20?
A bunch of times, because I guess you guys are good enough friends that I'll finally give in to playing it. But you're like bleeding me dry.
On what?
To play that game, like it's frustrating.
What's frustrating? You barely play it.
No, the mod was. It was frustrating towards the end. It was just like, I've done this before. I played 400 hours. I played enough of the game to play the game. Pleb, right. 400 hours is a pleb.
400 hours of plebness. You filthy casual.
I understand why, Joel. I understand your reasons. I just don't accept them.
I
made 15 hours of Guild Wars 1, so I don't even want to hear anything, okay? I've played my time of a game. DayZ 400 hours was enough at the time, and it just got to be the same. And so right now, it's hard for me to get back in because it has less features than it did before. So
I actually have it
I'm fine with that. I don't even care.
Yeah,
I don't even care.
I'm glad. Because I have 3 Dark Souls games that I'm playing, and I'm like, I have Assassin's Creed 4 I'm still playing through. I'm still working on that. And I have Infamous that I'm still playing through a little bit. So I have more than enough games to play. Yeah, I'm sad a little bit that I don't want to play DayZ as much with you guys. It's not that I don't want to play with you guys. It's just like, It's boring to me. So
Jeremiah, I have made a deal with the devil here with Joel, quite literally, actually. You evil demon child, you. Because remember last time, I think it was a few weeks ago, I managed to rope Joel into DayZ, and immediately he's just whining about the zombies. He's bored already. I made an agreement. I'm like, Joel, I know the alpha's a work in progress. They're adding more features. I'm like, if you'll just play occasionally on the big patches, I'll make an agreement, Joel. Like, we'll play some Dark Souls together. I will play Dark Souls. But when we record DayZ, you keep the whining down to a low murmur in the background. DayZ Alpha not finished.
How do you open the stinking menu? What am I supposed to do? What do I do with these canteens? I can't find a backpack. Oh, I'm dead again.
I know how to play the game now. It's just
I still love Joel. It's like episode, I think, 7 or 8 of the Wanderer series from Standalone. So it's like a month and a half after launch. You come back after a few weeks, and me and Jeremiah are like having this tense conversation about this guy that we just saw. It gets quiet for a second, and you hear Joel in the background, all the way across the map. You go, guys, which button's for the inventory again? Like, what?
Because I was like, I jumped back into good old DayZ. 400 hours of the game kind of makes your fingers remember what buttons. So I'm thinking, G, what the heck, G or I? I was like, crap, wait a second. Oh yeah, tab.
It made me laugh with the context, like where we're all tense and tactical, and you're like, where's the inventory? That's how you asked too, right? Like the arm flail. So yeah, we have a gentleman's agreement. I suffer through Dark Souls, and then Joel suffers through the unfinished DayZ Alpha with us.
Sounds
Sucker.
Good. Sounds good.
Actually, to be honest though, I think I'm the one suffering more out of this deal, because I spent an hour and a half the first night trying to get Dark Souls launched. I know Joel loves Dark Souls, and I'm beginning to really love Dark Souls too, the game itself. Mm-hmm. But the process on PC to actually get to the game, like the game is hard and just full of suffering, but it's the installation process that's the true test of your endurance. Like, what was it last night, Joel? It had logged me out of Windows Live for no reason, and the game like went to windowed off my screen and wouldn't come back, and then it wouldn't log me with my normal password or anything. So we just couldn't play. It's full of suffering.
It's an average Battlefield experience.
Ooh. Okay.
Saying someone who hasn't played it for months.
We have some viewer questions. You can be a part of the show by writing in to casualshenanigans@gmail.com, just like Isaiah did. Isaiah said, "Hey Dave." He didn't write into Casual Shenanigans. He wrote into Dave, who forwarded them to me. Okay, you've seen behind the curtain. Moving on. Hey Dave, I love the videos of DayZ in the podcast. I was wondering if you can tell me everything there is to PCs. I don't know anything about PCs. I was wondering about buying one. If you could get back to me, that would be great. Have a nice day. I look forward to see what you have to say, because you know a lot about PC. Plus, what kind of PC would you recommend me first buying? I had a little experience with PC because I played Sims a long time ago. Anyway, I would like to hear what you have to say. I know you're busy, but please take some time out of your day to explain to me. Anyways, as always, have a nice day. Okay, so Dave, can you really quickly tell Isaiah everything there is to PCs? You've got 2 or 3 minutes. Go.
Yeah, I've got this actually. PCs are where the master race experiences true gaming bliss.
True gaming euphoria.
So there you have it. That's how PC people explain PCs.
Yep,
Hi, I'm a douchebag. I have the best graphics ever. Welcome to the party, or get lost.
Joel,
that is actually that's pretty accurate.
Joel,
you know that's accurate. I've been a part of the PC gaming community since like 2001. So.
Joel, the PC adults are talking right now, okay?
No, I just have all the rest of the systems.
You sit there with the computer. Sit there with the computer we built you.
Yeah.
And let the adults talk.
With my bare hands, Joel. I bled for that computer.
His bare hands.
I bled for it.
He was bare when he was putting together.
His hands. We were just saying his hands.
It's true though. All new computers require a blood sacrifice if you use that that Hyper 212.
Why?
That's fins.
That's an easy. Oh well, yeah, those are very sharp.
Yeah, blood sacrifice. Like I think I had it installed, Joel. Like I was putting, I think it was the PC power lead behind the cooler, and like right across the knuckles, just. I know Joel loves paper cut, so the metal copper fin cut was also his favorite.
So, but seriously, for this guy, what does he need to know about PCs? What do you think, Dave, is like the important thing he needs to know about PC gaming? As we're assuming he doesn't know a lot right now.
Yeah, I think the first step is pick a budget because there's a wide variety that you can do. I just built mine with the intention of making it last for 4 years, or at least 3 years or so. So it's a pretty intense build, but not everyone has to do that. You can start off with a $600 build and upgrade from there. Also, don't buy a tower, I would say, unless it's literally your only option. Like, you have nobody you can turn to in real life for help. If at all possible, find someone to help you build it, like Joel did. Hi, Joel.
I actually could have built it myself. Like, I know how to, but I'm just like, it's more of the parts. Like, I could go out and buy a computer, put it together from scratch, load up the Windows and everything on my own. But I'm out of the rhythm of going, what motherboards support the CPU the best? I could probably find one, and I'd probably have to go through just like a default list or something like that, but why am I going to do that if I have people that are like absolute professionals?
Yeah, actually, John from our Casual Shenanigans Gaming group and Debbie are working on possibly upgrading their computer. Peer pressure, do it. And John put together a quick list for me, and I sent it to Jeremiah after he sent it to me, just so we could laugh together, like, those rookies, because he's been out of it for a while. And like you said, Joel, if you're not totally like just watching the parts year to year, you can get behind so quickly. Like up until last year when I started looking at my upgrade, I wasn't watching the parts, and so I had a lot of catching up to do.
Synthetic, what type of computer do you run? Do you run pre-built or do you build yourself?
No, I actually have two computers. I have a pre-built PC and an iMac.
An iMac, oh. So where'd you get your pre-built from?
Amazon.
Amazon.
It's a nothing special. It's a Alienware X51, pretty much.
Hey, the X51, that was one of their more popular computers of the last 5 years or so. That computer was pretty popular.
I did add 4 gigs of RAM to it, but other than that, it's pretty much stock. So yeah, that's all I've done with it.
Cool. Well, I mean, because you play, I'm going to say mostly Minecraft. Your YouTube channel is pretty much all Minecraft. Do you play other stuff on it, or is it really just for running Minecraft?
I do play a little bit of. Actually, I just got into Path of what do you call it? Path of Exile on Steam. Just got into that not too long ago, so I'm playing a little bit of that on there. Also, Star Wars: The Old Republic on there a little bit, and mostly a little bit of Minecraft and Steam stuff. Pretty much, that's about it, though.
Okay, so would you recommend that someone buy your computer again? Like, if you had the money and you were going to buy one right now, would you buy your pre-built as it was?
Considering the fact that I paid $1,000 for it, and you could probably make a heck of a lot better computer for that kind of money, I would say no.
Okay, I guess let me rephrase it. If you could rewind in time to back when those specs would have been more up to date, would you do it again?
Really? Well, when I bought this computer, I was in a rush. I wanted to get videos out ASAP. I was looking at getting a computer built, but I just didn't want to wait a month before they shipped it out to me and whatnot. So if you're in a rush, if you want a computer right now, go get a pre-built one. But if you can wait a little while, if you still got something that's half decent, get something built for you or build it yourself. That's my recommendation.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, if you can find a friend at all who can help you, awesome. If you can't, I'm looking at Newegg right now. It depends on what you want to play. That's another big thing. Like, if you mostly want to play Minecraft, Dota, Source games, I mean, you could get, a pretty cheap computer can run all of those. If you want to play Arma and Battlefield 4, you're going to have to spend more. But you can get a perfectly respectable gaming computer for about $500 to $600 pre-built. That's not including a monitor or anything, but you can get them with mice and keyboards and stuff. It'll be CyberPower or iBuyPower or Avatar. Those are the most popular ones in that category. You can also just buy a regular old desktop and add like an $100 graphics card into it if the power supply supports it. I mean, there are lots of ways to do it. So if you send any follow-up questions, we will happily try to answer them. But given the information that we have, that's like the best way we can probably answer it for now. But we have another more direct question from Tom, who did write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com, and he says, "Hey, Casual Shenanigans crew. I've been listening to you guys for a really long time, and your podcast is awesome. Good luck, Joel, with the movie. It looks great.
Thank you.
I have a question, and your advice would be cool. I know you had a similar question, but I can't remember which episode that was. I want to build my own PC, but at this moment I don't have the finances to buy an NVIDIA Titan Z, but I have about $700 to $750 budget to build a PC. I want to use my PC for editing movies and some gaming for games like Arma 3, Battlefield 4 if it's fixed. The budget might include a monitor unless I can connect that PC to my TV, which is some legit PC master race, I know. What specs would you recommend for my build with that budget? P.S. I'm the same height as Jeremiah. Hashtag the struggle is real.
You're all monsters.
No, that's not the direction I was going with that. I more meant
well, that's the direction we were going.
He understands. So
what the weather's like up there.
Not again. So for that budget, I have a saved build in my
Joel, you're so easy to amuse.
I was just gonna say, when he cries, it's like a thunderstorm down below for us. Everybody, pull out your umbrellas.
I'm like 5 inches taller than Dave, max.
Okay? No,
Okay?
you're like an inch and a half taller. No,
I'm
more than that.
No offense, Dave. I'm taller than that.
I see. I'm not good with heights.
I'm really bad with heights. I think all of our wives are about the same height, and apparently that's not at all true. And I think Joel is like about the same height as my wife, who's the same height as Joel's wife, and like it just goes around in a circle of everyone. If you're between 5 feet and 5 feet 7 or 8 inches, I think you're all pretty much the same.
All I know is you're a monster, so please continue.
Yeah. So I'm going to assume you're just going to hook this up to your TV. If your TV is a modern LCD or LED TV, you can absolutely hook it up to it. If it's got an HDMI output or input, great. I mean, as long as it's 60 hertz, no problems.
Quick aside here, guys. Like, we joke about consoles and all that stuff, but playing games on the couch is awesome, as Joel will attest, 100%. And
or under the blanket.
What?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. On the
Moving
couch,
on.
Under the blanket. Anyway, yeah. The ability to hook your computer into your TV, I mean, you can add it right there with whatever consoles you have, add in a wireless mouse and keyboard, and you're good to go. And it's awesome to have whatever you want on the couch. I mean, seriously, just grab the cables and do it.
Yeah, I would grab the cables and do it. Just casual things.
Just make sure to build a quiet PC because it will annoy the crap out of you if it's loud.
Well,
HDMI is surprisingly like resilient. For mine, I ran like 120 feet of Cat 6 cable, and my computer converts from HDMI in the back of my graphics card to 120 feet or more of Cat 6 2 strands, and then back
why
to HDMI.
120 feet? Your office is not that far away from your living room.
It runs up through the attic.
How many times?
Way up and then way back down.
Does it make a loop around the house next door and then come back in?
I did what I wanted with my cables. Okay.
Just
I got all this.
You'll just want to remember to, like, before you get comfortable under the blankets and, you know, comfortable with the control or whatever,
you're the only one
you
talking
need
about
to turn the
blankets.
power on for your computer first because there's no button to do
Only
that.
person talking
for a
about
controller.
blankets. Actually, have you ever heard of Wake on LAN?
Yeah, I have heard of on it. Oh, does that work with a controller?
Yeah, or you can just have your computer hibernate, then you press a button on the keyboard or controller and it comes right back up. You can actually, that problem
Okay,
is
so you
very
got to
easily
always keep your
solvable.
PC on, guys, so that's...
It's the same thing as consoles hibernate too, right?
Yeah, but
It's
they
the
use...
it's literally the same thing. It is
No, I
the
know.
same exact thing.
No, I know that. Yeah, it just takes a little bit longer for them to start up, but yeah.
Consoles? Yes, it does.
No,
Not
way.
my PC.
Yeah, welcome to solid state drives, Joel. You press the button and like 2 seconds later, you're back.
Dude, Windows 8.1 on a Hibernate, my computer comes on in like less than a second, and I'm on the desktop opening things.
He can open those Reddit tabs so quickly, you don't even know.
Multiple
So when
browsers,
it
guys. You
comes,
don't
so
even
when it
know.
comes back really quickly to the errors, you got to get out.
Oh my gosh.
Out.
Oh
Go
my
fix your
gosh.
computer, reformat.
Joel, have you used a computer in the last 10 years? I'm really curious.
Yeah, Joel, how many errors do you deal with on a daily basis?
I'm talking about your guys' errors. Like every freaking time we play. This is not working. Is there a reason why this mouse is not working? The keyboard. What's going on?
We never
All
have.
the time.
Nope,
All the
not
time.
like those.
I'm going to go through your YouTube videos or the streams and I'll edit pieces together where it's just like constant.
Do it. Do it. Go for it.
It'll be the shortest YouTube video of all time.
Synthetic, he's
Right.
lying. He's lying. There's none of that happens.
I have had some weird
Because
problems
our
with
podcast
Titanfall.
was right on schedule with,
Hey, it was late because Dave was late.
Yeah, I had to get my coffee, all right? Important things.
It's like he doesn't know what time we start at. I'm sorry. I lashed out and I shouldn't have. But let's get back to the build.
First.
we're back to Tom's build. Did you have a build ready to go? We got to answer this question eventually.
No, please continue.
Okay.
Train of thought.
So let's say you're going to hook it up to your TV. I'm going to assume you're doing that. So I recommend you get an FX 6300 processor. That's an AMD 6-core processor. It's pretty cheap and it's awesome for gaming. Get an Asus motherboard. Spend about $120. That'll get you one that'll let you overclock. Get a Cooler Master Hyper 212 cooler. And I can send you a link to all of this. Send me a follow-up email if you definitely want to monitor or definitely do not, and I'll send you an exact list. 8 gigs of Crucial Ballistics RAM, a Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte, a GeForce GTX 770, a Corsair 200R mid-tower, and a Corsair 430-watt power supply, and all that you can have for about $780. So that's assuming you already have a copy of Windows and something. If you don't have a copy of Windows already, and if you're a student, get it from your college or school for cheap. If none of those are options, then we'll take a little money off the budget. So send me details about that, and we can adjust from there. All right. Now, Dave, what were you about to say?
Nothing.
All right, moving on.
I don't know what we're talking about.
That's Dave's special, and gone.
Well, that's a far cry from earlier today, where you guys blew up my Skype for about 4 stinking hours. I was out running errands, and like every time I got near internet, my phone would just go and load like 50 messages.
That sounds exactly like a phone going off, too.
Jeremiah, when I logged on to Skype here to join the podcast call, for some reason, Skype's like, hey, let me actually make the message sound for all 4 hours of that message in the background. That's all. I couldn't hear you guys over the Skype like update, like pop, 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 pop. Yeah, it was like a 3-hour argument about that I had with Joel today.
All right, so Dave, would you like, we're going to spend a very brief, do each of you hear me, very brief amount of time talking about this.
Well, we figured out at the end that we were actually arguing about 2 different things, basically, and we actually we're in mostly agreement the whole time. Like it was like all semantics. We were going around in circles.
Semantics.
Dave, I created a poll.
It was all cinematics.
So go ahead, Dave. Go ahead and put your point of view. I'll say what my point of view. Let's see if they match up, and then I'll show you the poll, and we can send a link out. We'll see what people think.
You guys still have a copy of my graph?
Yes.
I do.
Does everyone have a copy of the information I sent out earlier?
I ended up making an infographic in the middle of the afternoon in Photoshop just because I couldn't explain it how I wanted to. But the discussion started with the announcement of the H1Z1 open world zombie game from Sony that got announced yesterday. And this morning there was talk that it actually won't have permadeath. It'll have like a character respawn system. So like when your character dies, he's just like out of it for a day or something, and you can bring him back. And Dean Hall posted a tweet that said basically in like a programming syntax, if game does not have permanent death, then it does not equal a survival game. And then Joel and I had a 3-hour argument about the definition of the survival game genre. My argument was that the genre that DayZ created, survival games, that the 3 main pillars of that style, which I would include DayZ, Rust, and Minecraft in actually, permanent death, open world, and I think persistence. Was that it, Joel? Those 3?
Yep, you have.
I have the graph.
Permadeath, open world, and persistence.
Yeah. And so I argued that without all those 3, it can't be considered a survival game in the definition that we've seen in common use since 2012. What I didn't realize is that Joel had a preconception that a survival game would include some older titles that had survival elements.
No, it's that, or
right, Joel?
It's that or any game that has just the idea of survival. So
yeah.
If I build a game that was based on survival, but I don't have permadeath, open world, or persistence, it can still be a survival game. It just may not be a survival simulator like DayZ is.
Yeah, I do actually like the words survival simulator better, but unfortunately, Joel, the press and the public definitely co-opted the phrase survival genre in 2012 after DayZ got popular. That has become the survival genre in the modern sense.
No, but it doesn't. DayZ is not taking over the storm by saying, "Hey, I am now the legit survival survival game. Any game that uses survival, hey, you have to change it to be casual game or casual survivor or survival type. No, that's bogus. Now, the thing is, I'm not like I agree with that DayZ is the definitive survival game. Like it really started it rebooted the survival genre in the sense that it has permadeath. Like no one's really has done that before. But it's not rebooted. It's not done survival game, the first game ever to do survival elements.
What are some other titles you would describe as survival games before 2012?
Gosh, right now I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, there's a lot of games. Even like Alan Wake. No, I mean, there's like Alan Wake. Like, it's a survival game. A survival game is resource management type games. That's one
phase of it.
Yeah, that's one phase.
Alan Wake is a linear action game.
Yeah,
that's like saying that Resident Evil 4 is a survival game.
No, but Resident Evil 1 was survival.
Because you have to do all the,
first
like the inventory management and resource management stuff, but it is an action game. I mean, that's
but I'm saying it still has the survival genre because it's not like, hey, you have bullets, tons of bullets like Call of Duty.
But the goal is not to survive. That's not the goal of the game. The goal is to progress through the game and finish a story.
Yeah, but here. Okay.
I would argue that no linear single-player game counts as a survival game. Not even Stalker, I don't believe, would count as a survival game.
Okay. How would you describe it then?
Because Stalker has no permadeath. If I die in Stalker, which you do a lot.
So explain to the average person, what kind of game type is this?
Stalker is single-player horror RPG first-person shooter. It's got all those elements, but the reason it's not a survival genre game, as defined by DayZ 2012 on, is because there's no permanence. There's no punishment for death. I quick save constantly in Stalker, and the game is hard. I have to gather supplies. I have to have food, water, a lot of stuff like DayZ. But in the end, when I die, I load my quick save, and I'm back from a jumping off point. There isn't that persistence and that permanence of death.
I gotta disagree with that. I think that a survival game is more the environment you're playing in, the theme of the game, not just the elements that make it a survival game. So, like, Last of Us came to mind for me as a survival game. It's the whole theme of it, the whole narrative of the whole game. That's for me what that's what
the
I
whole
consider
game. You're trying to survive the apocalypse.
Yes.
There's a lot of games that have survival elements. My argument is that there's a new genre that was created in 2012 that has a very specific and very narrow definition that most games in the past aren't going to meet. And that phrase, survival games, may have been used in the past infrequently, but now it's in common use referring to games like DayZ. The meaning of the term survival genre has changed, in my opinion.
I would say definitely. I think that's what it is, because there were other games with survival elements, but no one ever tried to make a game whose only point was to survive, except for a roguelike. Roguelikes are like that. Like FTL is a survival game. When you die, you lose everything and you start over.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, well, that's the term roguelike. That's really what that means, is like the Binding of Isaac, FTL, games like that. Like, you go through them until you die, and then you start over, and you lose everything. But
Dave was trying to say that those games need to take out the word survival, or they have to do survival.
They can call it whatever they want. I think Dean Hall would be better off saying survival simulator has to have, because I think DayZ is a survival simulator. I think it's fine to call a game survival.
That's a better term,
like survival horror or something. But the thing about survival, it makes it sound like that's the point of the game, which is to survive. And most of those games, the point of the game isn't necessarily to survive; it's to get through the story. So when they were the most hardcore thing out there, I think it made more sense. I think it just makes less sense now because we have games after DayZ. There's been a whole crop of them have popped up. We have tons of games where the only point is to survive, and that's where I think people argue over the term. Is that it used to be more commonly accepted before the definition kind of changed.
But the thing I just think is it doesn't make sense is. Just you don't have to have permadeath to be a survival game. Like, it doesn't have to be permanent. Like, you're going for a different type of theme. Like, it may be something different, right? Let's say you're not an apocalypse type of survival game. Let's say you're a survival cooking game or something. I don't know, but I'm saying, but like, I'm just saying.
Hiking. How about hiking or camping? Is that a better example?
No, it could be a lot of different things. It could be a car survival type of game where you can't run out of gas to survive. Just like it's the theme of scraping against odds to barely make it through. That's the idea that's survival.
For the car game, death may not be the permanent thing, but there would have to be a permanent consequence to something that you would do to survive.
No.
Like if you don't meet X requirement, there is a permanent something that happens as a consequence of that.
No, you
That's
could
part
have,
of the survival
you could have
genre.
an awesome hiking game, and then when you die, you just go back to a checkpoint. But it's a very hard.
When you die hiking.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it's a game
No,
where,
my ankle.
but I'm saying like you're climbing up a mountain or whatever. It spends hours. The way Dark Souls is, you die, but you spawn back at a certain area. But it's still a very survival type game where it's like very hard. You have very little like ammo, weapons, and you gotta you're struggling to survive. It's not a very linear type fashion game where it's quite easier. It has a I'm just saying you can't whittle down other games because of that. Because let's say you have a basketball game, right? And they use no physics. This is a 2D game. But then some game comes out of nowhere, 3D physics, adds the crowd, adds all the AI, and they go, no, this is the definitive basketball game. So you really can't call those basketball anymore because this is the definitive version. It's just that
the public and the press agree.
It does.
They don't though. They don't now.
Here's the
There's
thing.
not a consensus really.
But here's the thing: is
I can back it up with citations.
but Dave, even if they do, here's the reason. Okay, don't forget that there's a lot of dumb people out there that go. Like, if I said in general a survival game, you guys would know what I'm talking about, right? Does that make sense? If I said, oh yeah, it's a survival type game. Like I'm playing Alan Wake, and it's you
Well,
guys
Survival
honestly,
type, not survival.
Honestly, if you said that now, I'd think of something along the lines of DayZ, just because there's so many of them coming out now.
And I'm saying,
but if you said like a survival horror game, I would think of Resident Evil or Dead Space or something. Like if you add it with something else, or like a.
But the thing is, Dead Space is really no different than DayZ in the way like you're surviving, right? Yeah, like Dead Space is not huge open world, but it's sci-fi. But DayZ has horror. There's no really difference between
Dead Space is linear, and Dead Space has no consequence for death.
What do you mean it has no consequence? You have to go
reload.
save.
Well, yeah, but
reload.
I mean,
This has bigger consequences, but yeah, no, they have.
You can take
I'm
risks
saying
and
that's
grind your way
important.
through stuff because if you die, the worst case scenario is you go back a bit. In
That doesn't
DayZ,
change the fact that it's a survival game. It doesn't change the fact.
I would say
does.
I'm saying
somewhere in
DayZ
between
needs
the
to be
two.
redefined a new genre called like hardcore like survival simulator or something like that. It's not take other games and say you have to say casual because I mean Division might be a way crazier hardcore shoot 'em up like survival game than DayZ is. DayZ is really easy now after playing Dark Souls for a while, where it's just like you run around, it's easy to loot stuff.
I'll allow Joel that.
I'm saying like just because a certain game has certain elements doesn't mean this one's much harder, hardcore. It's just that they put the limits all the way up.
The term survival game may have been co-opted unfairly, sure, but the reason that I was so intent on arguing the point is because I think that it's a shame to see a lot of games trying to ride DayZ's coattails without taking the risk that DayZ did. To say, hey guys, we're like these other survival games, but in reality they're missing some of the core pillars that make the game survival. That's why I think Rust is a great example of a game that has done well to jump into the same genre as DayZ.
Yeah, but okay, like that other H1Z1. Okay, so if it doesn't have permadeath, but it does have open world and has persistence, it is very similar to DayZ.
It is similar.
So you're
but
saying
it's not in the same genre.
Saying one thing off the okay. So if they were all three, you'd have absolutely no problem.
That's what I just said about Rust. Rust definitely fits in the same genre as DayZ, whether you call it survival simulator or whatever you want to call it. I think only Rust and maybe Minecraft fit into that genre right now.
I got another one for you actually. Just correct me right now. What about Diablo 2?
Yeah,
I played it actually.
What was the
That's
consequence for death on that one?
Yeah, you lose all your gear. You have to go back and reclaim it again.
Yeah,
That's kinda like Dark Souls,
You can do that in
actually.
Diablo 3. You can do that in Diablo 3. You can start a character that if you die, you lose everything.
Actually, that'd make Dark Souls as a survival game.
Well, Dark Souls is more single player though. Same with Diablo,
but,
right?
But if you no, I would not say that.
Diablo.
Dark Souls, you can get invaded. Someone can invade
that's true.
kill you, take like all your stuff's gone, and unless you get back to your body, it's just gone. And yeah, now there's a checkpoint, but you lose all the stuff. So I'd say Dark Souls is a survival game by the same way Diablo 2 is.
But it's not open world and it doesn't have the same
It's not
persistence.
It's not open world, but I think it's a survival RPG. I would call it. Like,
Sure, I could agree with
It
that,
has
yeah.
the permanence, though. It has the permanence, which is your basis for it being a survival game. There is permanence.
My entire point though was that the genre, as defined by DayZ, has to have those 3 pillars to fit into that same genre.
Yeah, so it needs to be
has to have all
hardcore
3.
simulator, hardcore survival simulator, not just survival game. Just like that one that came on Xbox and Steam, whatever it's called. That it's like a third-person game. You can drive around. It's kind of like GTA, but
State
it's
of
like,
Decay.
yeah, there we go. Like you would tell people, yeah, it's a survival game. It is because you have to go around, gather supplies, build your place. You're surviving. But when you die, it's not like permadeath.
Wait, it is actually.
What happens when you die?
Well, I guess you switch characters, but it's not. Yeah. It's not like DayZ where you lose everything. You still kind of can have like your storefront of weapons.
It's kind of on the fringes. Then it's close.
But you wouldn't want to go. Like, you wouldn't tell people, oh, it's just an action game. Like, no, it's a survival game. Like that's the point of it.
So
like,
I think if there's anything we can learn from this discussion is there's a range, and the problem there's no hardcore defined thing. Everyone can pretty much agree DayZ is a survival game. Everyone can pretty much agree that Tetris, well, no, Tetris kind of is. Everyone can agree that, like, Pong isn't a survival game. Okay, so there's somewhere in between there. There's, there's a big variance of games. I think it is cool that we have so many games with survival-like elements. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're seeing a lot of DayZ clones. I'm curious to see how we're going to see permanence and permadeath, if we're going to see that make more of a resurgence back into popular games that aren't zombie simulators. Like, we're getting a lot of those right now, but I think once those die down a little bit, I'm curious to see the effect that DayZ will have on the industry. I think it will have an effect. I think more people are going to be taking risks with that type of hardcore experience, but time will tell.
My wife just texted me. She just watched the 3rd season of Game of Thrones. She finished it. She just wrote, damn.
Wait, did she finish the whole thing or just the second to last episode?
Joel, are you making her watch that alone? You're a terrible person.
Yeah, you need to go down there and offer her some moral support. Chocolate. Yeah. She has chocolate flowers and alcohol right now.
I have a tough
Yeah, but I mean, come on. You know what we're talking. I mean, it's Game of Thrones. There's tough and then there's brutal.
Okay, so I have a poll that I wrote up, so I can send people the link out.
All right, send the link out. Drop it in the Twitch chat.
And somebody post the graph too that I made.
You post the graph, Dave. No one's helping you do that.
All right.
I'll do it. I got a link.
Easypolls.net.
I'll upload it for you, Joel.
All right, I've voted.
I just think that, like, okay, if I created a new movie genre, like if I really pushed a genre, I would want to be able to have that right to say I pushed a new genre rather than going, oh, hey, I'm going to take the action genre because this is real action.
Nope, I'll agree with you there.
That's the only thing. Like,
yeah, I think Rocket's maybe a little out of place saying that, like, well, now that I've made this survival game, you guys, what you were calling survival before doesn't count because mine is true survival. I can see that.
I think, because I was trying to tell Dave, I was like, on the back of the box, like, trying to describe your game, you got to be able to use those elements, but if they have those elements in it, whether they're not like on the back for DayZ, it'd be like a true survival experience. You have, when you die, you lose everything. Blah 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 blah. Like, not like those other games where you can respawn. But another game can still have survival elements, but you don't have to have like permadeath, online, open world. It can still be a small world. It may not be a great game, but it doesn't have to be a massive open world just to be called a online survival game.
I think that when you market your new game and compare it to games that have come before it, you open yourself up to that kind of criticism now. When you're taking,
of course, it may be a crappy game, but it's very much like DayZ. It's that kind of.
I'm not saying it's gonna be crappy. I'm just saying that they don't have the right to say, because they're only taking slices of the pie. Like they're picking and choosing. They're not taking the whole idea of what made DayZ explode in popularity. It was the combination of all the elements, and they're just picking and choosing elements. That's the problem.
The only thing is, where does the line stop though, Dave? Like, what things can you not include in their game that they have in DayZ that it would
check the graph?
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have to cook your meat over a fire? What if you could just pick up a piece of meat and it was already like cooked? You could just eat it right there, and you'd have to worry.
I think those small details aren't important. It's the pillars that are important. There's 3 main pillars. I feel like I'm like doing some kind of political philosophy here, like the pillars of Deanism.
Vote for me.
So I hate to be a buzzkill, but we're going to lose some of our thousands of viewers right now because Robert Space Industries is starting a Star Citizen stream, and currently they're sitting at 12,500 live viewers. So
wow.
I would not blame anyone who switched off of this and came back and finished it later on YouTube. That sounds like a really bad segue into our special guest tonight. I'm sorry, but it just happened. It just happened just now. I don't know what they're actually streaming right now. It's just the Cloud Imperium logo, but there's almost 13,000 people watching now. Just in the time I've taken to tell you, like 500 extra people have joined. So who knows what's going on over there? But okay, so
free advertising.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited because I want to know more about the Minecraft YouTube community, because that's one thing that I don't know a whole lot about, but it's a huge deal.
Minecraft is one of those things, like, if it's so hardcore for a lot of people, and it's one of those things where, like, I've played Minecraft, but I don't feel like I can even talk about it because I've played maybe 30 or 40 hours, nothing like the insanity that I see some people who play it. And then, all right, so there's this thing called Stadium Reviews. Synthetic, if I start talking about these, I'm sure I'm going to screw it up and you're going to be laughing to yourself. but you have tons of these stadium reviews and stadium tutorials and stuff. What is a stadium in Minecraft? Because this was something I didn't even know existed until about 2 months ago.
Well, Minecraft has 2 modes, right? It has survival mode and it has creative mode. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think it has 3 modes. The third is adventure mode. But creative mode, you can build whatever you want to, whether it's a stadium or a house or a cathedral or a spaceship. It doesn't matter what it is. The sky is the limit. As long as you can imagine it, you can build whatever you want to. A stadium in Minecraft is literally the reconstruction of a stadium in real life. So you can have stadiums that are based on American football stadiums or soccer or tennis or wrestling or whatever it is. Spleef, that's a popular game in Minecraft. You can have Spleef stadiums. The sky is the limit. Like I said, if you can imagine it, you can build it pretty much.
So it's just supposed to be like a faithful recreation of something from the real world?
Sometimes, yes. A lot of people often like to do renditions of real stadiums. So, like, where do you guys live roughly in the U.S.?
East Coast.
East Coast. Okay, so say for example New York. Mm-hmm. I have seen people build renditions of MetLife Stadium, the NFL's New York Giants, New York Jets Stadium. I've seen videos of people building the Madison Square Garden.
Oh my
gosh. You could have those there, and you could also... I have reviewed a person's stadium that was devoted to the Giants, but it wasn't MetLife Stadium. It was nothing like MetLife Stadium. So it's completely creative, and it has nothing to do with the real thing.
Okay. So when you're doing a review of a stadium, so you're pretty much going in and showing people, like, you're critiquing the work people did, whether it's a recreation or whether it's their own thing they've come up with, and you're just like, you're showing it and spotlighting it for people and talking about how you feel about it. Is that basically what it is?
That's it in a nutshell, yes.
And now you call yourself was the original Minecraft stadium reviewer?
I came up with the idea. Yes.
I'm looking. You have a ton of these stadium reviews on your channel, and I flipped through. I'll be honest, I didn't watch all of them.
I don't blame you.
but I flipped through them. It blows my mind the stuff people make in Minecraft. Like this, it scratches all my Lego itches. That's when I play Minecraft.
Oh, yeah.
Is when I miss my Legos. Because my jerk of a mom sold them when I went to college. Or donated them or something. But like that's when I play Minecraft, is when I have that itch to play Legos. And
well, they do say Minecraft is Legos for adults, so there you go.
Not just adults either.
Right.
So is that what's your favorite part of Minecraft here? Is it looking at other people's stadiums, or like do you do stadiums yourself, or is stadiums,
yes.
You do?
Yeah, the tutorial series I do is a stadium I'm building myself. So I'm showing people how to do things the right way or a better way or things like that. So I'm building my own stadium while showing them how to improve on their own techniques.
Nice. So how many hours, conservative estimate, some of these stadiums are insane. Like let's take a pretty normal, well-done football stadium. Is that like 100 hours, or is that closer to 1,000 for someone to make one of those?
Normally it ranges from 3 to 6 months. So, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to say, this is why I uninstalled Minecraft. I think it was 2012. Was it, Joel, was it you and Debbie bought me a copy against my will?
That was Debbie.
It was mainly Debbie, yeah.
Debbie.
I remember one weekend because John had a server up at his house that we were all playing on. I went in one Friday and I spent like 22 hours that weekend building this like underground railroad like subway system and like this huge tower fort thing. And then I stepped back and looked, and I'm actually a 3D artist. Like that's my full-time job is I make actual things in 3D. And I stepped back and I'm like, I could be making like portfolio pieces with all these hours. And I'm like, I can get so deep into this game. I'm like, I have like opened the door. I have seen what is behind the door. I'm like, nope, I gotta back away.
Not like when you got into Sid Meier's Trains. That's a good use of your time.
DayZ.
I actually saw
right now.
I actually saw a video earlier today before we started this that I was watching a video on Planet Minecraft, which is one of the sites where you post all your content and whatnot. And this guy is a professional architect, and he built his house, but it was into the cliff face of a mountain, basically, and he had built into the caves beneath it and everything. It was just incredible. So yeah, there are actual physical real life architects who get paid to be architects that are playing Minecraft and doing incredible work in Minecraft at the same time.
I can believe it. I can 100% believe it.
It's kind of funny because Minecraft seems like it's a niche game, but it's also one of the best-selling games of all time.
Yes.
I think Microsoft announced recently, I think just the Xbox 360 version, which is definitely not the most popular version of the game, but just the Xbox 360 version has sold like 11 million units.
If I remember correctly, the Xbox 360 version sold out. It has surpassed every other Xbox 360 game.
Yeah, I mean
to date.
that's like Grand Theft Auto numbers for every platform. I mean that's ridiculous. And then so on the PC, I'm guessing it's got to be north of like 25 or 30 million.
Easily.
I mean, it's probably like World of Warcraft numbers. It's cool. Like Minecraft is one of those games where it can be whatever you want it to be, like depending on what your proclivities are. Like the game can be this amazing stadium thing where it looks like these people are, it's like building models. They're building models in the game. And
exactly.
there are people that I only ever really played the survival one, so like I built a house and stuff, but I never really got into the super deep building stuff. But probably like Dave, if I had, it would have been a problem.
What really sucked me too is like when I'm working, like today I spent a bunch of hours trying to fix a model that was exploding on export to CryEngine, and a lot of the times you're just fighting technical issues instead of actually creating artwork. Whereas in Minecraft, it's just creation. It was so much fun. It was so relaxing. I could see the danger.
So, did you get into Minecraft when it first came out in like 2009, or when did you get on board?
It was actually 2 years ago, or I think it was Thanksgiving 2011. Initially, I actually thought Minecraft looked like a terrible game.
Well, when you first see it, we don't know anything about it. You're like, "What is this stupid thing people are like? These graphics are the worst."
Pixelated crap. What is this looking at? And then I started digging into it a little bit further on YouTube, and it's like, wow, this game has potential. So. Yeah. I finally pushed myself to try it out, and my first instinct was build a stadium. So, Thanksgiving 2011, I got into building a stadium, and then around February of 2012, I just got the idea. What if I start reviewing stadiums? And I've been doing that ever since.
Yeah, it's like I said, you've got a lot of them on here. What do you think? Since it seems like you could probably be considered an expert at this point on Minecraft stadiums, what makes a good stadium? What's the difference between a good stadium and just a normal one? Like, I'm assuming most of the ones you review are really good.
Actually, no. There's quite a mix.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, between a bad stadium and a good stadium, the things you need to have a good stadium are all the factors I cover, basically. So you need to have nice outer walls. You need to have nice interiors. Not special interiors, but nice interiors. The stadium size the stadium size itself isn't really the most important factor. The sightlines do help, and the creativity does help as well. With renditions, it's harder to grade on creativity because you're building something that is based off real things. So creativity is harder in that way, but yeah, a good stadium has all of those things, really, and a great stadium just goes completely over the top, has insane redstone work. The interiors are just completely filled out and just look spectacular. So that's what makes a great stadium.
That's pretty crazy.
And so, like, you were just playing Minecraft one day, and then you just decided, hey, I should be sharing this with people, and you started uploading? Like, is that pretty much how it happened?
Like I said, pretty much, I just got the idea to start. Well, I think it was kind of a motive of greed initially, because I've been to a couple of real-life stadiums, and I was just awestruck at how awesome they were. So initially I wanted to see more stadiums myself and to walk around them in the game and just enjoy them myself. So I thought, what if I started reviewing them and putting all this stuff out so that people enjoyed it themselves? And then now I hardly ever pick a stadium to review myself. Most of them I review are by request these days.
All right, so I have to ask for everybody we have on here, what made you choose the name Synthetic67? What does that mean?
About 12 years ago, I was creating a new name for AOL Instant Messenger. Mm-hmm. And I was just trying to find a name that I liked, whatever. And so I was listening to a song by a band called Spineshank. Heavy metal band or a rock band, whatever you want to call it, and they had a song called Synthetic. So I took Synthetic and I added 67 on it because I thought it sounded cool. That's it. It's stuck.
I knew that feeling.
It's stuck, and I wish I could get rid of it, but it's there, so I'm using it.
I know what you mean. I've been stuck with Evil Viking 13 for like 10 years now.
Yeah, now you're not stuck with it. You're the original Evil Viking 13. And you're the original Synthetic 67. Like, you're stuck with it, but then it becomes, like, it's mine and no one else's. As someone whose name is a little bit unusual, whose real-life name is a little unusual, at first I was like, could everyone please stop calling me JERMgaming and get my name right? But now... But now I like the fact that I have a little bit of a unique name. Like, it used to be like yeah, that's my name. And now it's like, yeah, say it correctly. Say it correctly.
Say my name.
Joel, didn't you call Jeremiah Jeremy for like 6 months?
What
in Battlefield 3?
Man? We were friends. We were friends.
No. We were only playing occasionally back then, but it always made me laugh. I think Edgar did it for a while too. He called you Jeremy.
I probably did. It's really, honestly, it's hard for me to call anyone Jeremiah that's not my brother.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's just hard.
I don't know many other Jeremiahs in real life.
Because I'll probably slip and just say, hey, Jer, because I always call my brother Jer. And it just sounds really awkward to say, sup, Jer, and you're not.
As long as you call me Jer Bear.
I'll call you Jer.
Or don't. I mean, I'm just like, there's options.
Just make sure you say it super low.
Jer Bear.
So, Synthetic, when you are not playing Minecraft, you kind of hinted at it before. What do you play when you're not, like, running around in people's stadiums?
Well, as I said before, a little bit of Path of Exile, a little bit of Star Wars: The Old Republic. Mostly, otherwise, though, console gaming. I do a lot of console gaming, different stuff. Right now, Infamous, Second Son. A lot of actually, I'm addicted to Madden 12. Actually, NFL Madden 12. So, I think that's still the best Madden game to date on any console, so I'm still playing that one 2 years removed from it, so yeah, there you go.
How long are those maintained before they're shut down, on average?
I have no idea. I don't play online sports games at all. I'm strictly single player, because I'm not very good at them at all.
One second. I was looking to bring up a tab, and then I completely lost it. So
Jeremiah has a deep question here. I can see it in his face.
I don't. I completely lost it. That's what a good host does. No, it's cool. Like, that's why I wanted to have you on tonight. It's just like a segment of PC gaming that I'm totally unfamiliar with, and that's what I love about PC gaming. Is there are people doing things I'm not even familiar with at all. Like, they make no sense, or make no sense. Like, I have no idea what it is, but it looks cool. And you find them, and like, it's this whole subculture of people, and you just don't get that on consoles to the same amount.
Very true. Yeah, consoles are very more limited, and I think the indie gaming market, so to speak, or the industry of the indie gaming is opening up so many more doors, to people's imagination, and people get caught up in Don't Starve or Outlast or something else that's completely obscure, and it blows your mind how good a game is, or you never saw it before, or like Path of Exile. I saw that and it's like, that's gotta be Diablo 2, and then I looked into it, it's like, whoa, it's an awesome looking new game that's not Diablo 2. I'm intrigued.
Wait, Diablo 3 is not scratching that itch for you?
No, not at all.
Are you gonna try Reaper of Souls? A lot of people who did not like Diablo 3 are saying Reaper of Souls is amazing.
Well, actually, I might try Diablo 3 when it hits the PS4, which I believe is coming soon. I'll probably get it then, but I had it on PC, and it just didn't work very, very well for me. I'm not a very big fan of keyboard gaming, to be quite honest.
Joel plays on the PC with a controller. I mean,
well, though, it freaks me out. It really does freak me out.
Yeah. Dave cries at night. Scared. Pulls the covers up.
It keeps me up late at night. Why, Joel? How?
When I was really deep down my Modern Warfare binge in college on my PS3, I mean, I was really good with the controller. I mean, it's doable. You just have to play with it a ton. If you just switch from a keyboard and mouse to a controller back and forth, and you don't really spend a ton of time with one or the other, I think it's hard to really master one. But yeah, people who are masters at the controllers are pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, Joel, I've never seen anybody. I've seen people try before to use controllers like on Battlefield and stuff, and it's a miserable experience. A lot of us practicing for the showdown last year in London for Battlefield 4, we're having to move over to controllers, and you just pick it up on PC and you roll with it. You were like, what, second in our round of Titanfall a few nights ago with a controller? I thought it was hilarious.
I'm usually ahead of all of you guys in Titanfall.
Whoa, seriously, all right.
No, in Titanfall he is.
Almost every round.
Joel, actually, can you start like bragging over to the mic? Like, hey guys, I just wanted to let you know I'm second place and I've got a controller.
Just join us in Titanfall sometime and you'll see. That's all.
I actually have a second point for you guys with
go for it.
Minecraft and the keyboard and mouse thing.
Yeah.
Actually, when I play Minecraft on the Xbox, I feel very uncomfortable with the controller. I am completely used to, or institutionalized, if you will, using the keyboard and mouse, with the
keyboard and mouse.
The keyboard and mouse for Minecraft, but give me a controller and it doesn't feel natural at all. But any other game, I much prefer a controller to the keyboard and mouse. So there you go.
I guess Minecraft is so unique. Like, you pretty much have to use a keyboard and mouse. I mean, I've tried it on a tablet and my phone, and both of those were horrible experiences.
I was like, you want a fun experience? My wife bought it for our iPad. That's interesting. Minecraft on the iPad, like multiple touch going on?
Yeah, touchscreen Minecraft just doesn't work for me either.
Touchscreen, most games don't work that well. You ever played a twin-stick shooter on a phone? Holy crap, it's terrible.
Yeah. That doesn't work.
We're just all pouring one out
right there.
Pouring one out for our homies who try to play twin stick shooters on phones.
And people are so into it too. Like I've seen Minecraft channels that people are specializing in portable edition Minecraft. It's like, wow.
It's like Minecraft in slow motion with a lot more up and down.
You see stadiums in Minecraft that are on a phone or a tablet. It's like, how do you have the patience for doing that on a tablet?
You're a special person.
People build like insane huge things just on their iPads.
If you have built,
still build like insane huge like Minecraft buildings.
Smaller.
If you have built a huge Minecraft stadium on your phone, get in touch with us. We'll take up a collection for you to get you a prostitute, so you can finally feel the touch of a woman.
Oh, man.
I thought you were gonna be like, we'll buy you a PC so you can experience true Minecraft, but you kind of
no, we know what they really need. A different influence.
Sunlight.
We'll buy you a hammock and hiking shoes.
No, don't worry. Just play DayZ. You got all that in there.
So
hiking.
Dave, can you queue up a comment of the week for us?
I'll have to dig for a minute.
Okay, and Joel, do you have a 90 seconds for us?
I do. And this one actually will be 96.
90 seconds. 96. 96. So many virgin. Much love now.
Joel love you long time.
No, not really. Joel love you for at least 90 seconds.
I was going to say that 96
All right, guys.
is your mom's average night, right?
Oh.
Hi, Mom.
Okay.
I got you for a second. Okay. No,
That's
my
what
90
she
seconds.
said. All right,
relates
so
to-
90 Seconds with Joel, part of the podcast where Joel talks about something for 90 seconds. Go, Joel.
Star Wars. So,
Star Wars.
a confirmed thing here. This is, I commend them for being able to keep such tight lips on this whole project. But this one actress, I forget her name now, who had to shave her head for the newest Marvel movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. She plays some alien character,
Zoe
right?
Saldana?
No, someone else actually.
Oh.
Something, I think Killian something. Anyways.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Deep red hair. Well,
Karen Killing from
they're using her hair as a wig for a character in Star Wars. And I think if you're a Star Wars person, red hair sounds like Mara Jade, which is
Who's that?
Luke Skywalker's wife, at least in the books.
Oh.
She's like this.
That is correct.
She's like an evil Imperial assassin or something like that. I actually don't really like.
Wait, does she
how-
turn around? Why does he marry her?
Yeah. She basically turns from assassin to.
Oh, I was
a
going to say,
Jedi.
that seems like a
Yeah.
weird marriage.
It's
Yeah,
a very comic booky storyline.
Yeah, it is.
but
very
good.
comic.
You always
enjoy-
wonder if she's going
but
to turn
I like
to
the
the
idea
dark
of
side
any-
again.
I just like the idea of Luke Skywalker like having some wife or some girl or something like that he turns into a Jedi and yeah. 90 sex. But anyways, I thought that was cool. Just a little bit of tidbit.
Yeah, that is
Just
cool.
tidbit
Actually,
stuff.
and here's another cool Star Wars piece of information. Amy Henning, the creative director of all the Uncharted games, was like fired from Naughty Dog a couple weeks ago. The thing is, like, none of us know much. She's not saying much, so she must be under NDA to get a severance or something. But she abruptly left Naughty Dog. Like, one day everything's great and she's talking about Uncharted 4, everything's proceeding, and then the next day they released a statement saying she has left Naughty Dog. So people were all confused. She's obviously a super talented creative director. The Uncharted games are some of the best produced games ever. But now it is confirmed she has landed. She's going to be working on Star Wars games. And
Interesting.
they're not talking
dice or
I don't know if it's the DICE. I don't know if it's the DICE LA game or not. There are multiple Star Wars titles in development right now, and she is going to be working on / overseeing some of them. So it'd be nice if she was overseeing the resurrection of Star Wars 1313, but that game is probably dead forever. Well, I say it was probably dead forever. Everyone thought Battlefront was dead for like 7 years. So never say never, but 1313 is probably never coming back.
Half-Life hasn't come out. It's almost going on 8 years.
Well, but that's different. They're not.
don't talk about Half-Life, please.
They're not telling you it's in development. I mean, that's the thing. It's not like, oh, they've been working on Half-Life 3 for years. We don't know if they're working on it at all. We assume they are because we want them to be, but how many years was it between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3?
I think
10?
Yeah,
I'd say over 10
it was in 98, so
Yeah.
Diablo
You're
2
talking about
was
16
98?
years then.
Holy
yeah,
crap.
Diablo is 98. Yeah, I think it's 98.
And then Diablo 3 came out, was that in 2012, right?
Yeah, 2012. Holy
14
crap.
years.
14 years, yeah, that's... So, you know...
I wonder how many different
2018.
versions of Diablo 3 they went through. That's what I want to know. Because it's like, they obviously weren't developing it for 12 freaking years.
Yeah, they also had World of Warcraft too, so
That's
there
true.
you go.
Yeah, they probably,
Oh, that's true.
probably when World of Warcraft blew up, they were like, hey guys, we're going to stay over here for a little bit. You know, they probably kind of had to shelve their other plans to keep up with their 11 million subscribers. But, yeah. And of course, you know, Diablo 2 was an amazing franchise that everyone hated the third installment of, so you never know. Half-Life 3 might suck. I don't want it to because I love that series, but wait, hold on. Who just said something about Battlestar? Dave said something about Battlestar in chat. I saw
Whoa,
that. Dave,
geez, that took like 1 second.
all right, welcome to Jeremiah's Rant of the Week, part of the podcast, inaugural, where Jeremiah rants about something. Dave, you have good
Hold on,
taste in television.
I'm just gonna hold on to my desk for this one.
What is your excuse?
Strap in.
Why have you not seen Battlestar Galactica yet?
Because I've been very busy watching Game of Thrones and House of Cards and Dexter and the many beautiful things that Netflix provides me with.
That's acceptable. So recently,
Mom channel. I guess not so beautiful.
No, Joel, she's on pay-per-view.
Definitely a pay-per-view.
Here's my actual rant though. I did actually have something prepared. Okay, so we just got cable. I've never had cable in my entire life. We just got cable because they offered us a crazy good deal.
Have fun getting rid of it.
Oh no, there's no contract. There's no contract.
Yeah, I was more impressed with the no contract than the pricing.
I'm getting regular cable in HD with an HD DVR with HBO and Stars, no contract for $20.
With who?
No contract.
How are you doing that?
Because I signed up for a fast internet package for work, like because I work out of my home, and they offered this to me. So now I have HBO Go. So I just signed into HBO Go, and I was looking through all their shows that I want to watch. I'm just going to run. This is just the shows I want to watch.
You need to watch True Detective.
It's on our list. Not the shows, not all the shows they have, just the ones I want to watch. Band of Brothers, I want to see it again. Boardwalk Empire, Deadwood, Eastbound and Down, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Entourage, I want to watch that again. Extras, Flight of the Conchords, Generation Kill. What?
You're drowning in delicious shows.
Oh. The Newsroom. I love The Newsroom. Oz. I've always wanted to see that. I want to finish Rome. I want to watch The Pacific. I want to rewatch The Wire, Silicon Valley. I mean, this is all.
I'm excited for that new show.
And then HBO, they have movies. They have tons of movies on HBO Go, like recent movies that have just hit DVD. And you can't get this unless you have cable and pay extra for HBO. HBO. If anyone from HBO actually hears any of this, I will happily pay you like $10 a month for access to HBO Go without cable. Happily. Because if it's $15 a month to a cable provider, I'm assuming you're getting maybe $10 of that. I would so gladly pay you that money. Please come out with a streaming only option. Game of Thrones is the most pirated show in the world, and I bet you a third of those people would happily pay for instant HD access if they could. Maybe not a third. Even if it was a tenth, that'd be the most numbers you've ever had on anything. Please, please, please let us get HBO Go for a decent price without having to buy cable. Because cable is stupid. I was trying to set the DVR tonight. Whoever designs DVR remotes should be beaten to death with a wiffle bat.
Or with a remote, actually.
I'll do it.
The remote, they have every button is a different size, different color, different shape. They're poorly labeled. Sometimes they're labeled on the button, sometimes it's labeled next to the button, and there's no discernible like hierarchy of any of the buttons. I spent 20 minutes trying to set the HD DVR to actually output in HD, and I still have not successfully done that. Right now it's outputting 720p centered small in the middle of the screen. Like that's as far as I've gotten. So it's so frustrating. Cable is so frustrating, and I hate it. And I hate it already. And I would much rather just...
Do you just hate the commercials in between shows?
No, I don't care about that. Actually, as someone who does a lot of marketing stuff, I like watching commercials a lot of the time. I enjoy them. I don't like watching them over and over and over. I enjoy seeing what people are doing to advertise their stuff. I can appreciate that. But the rest of it is ridiculous, and I'm...
Just got the twitches.
I'm mad about it. I don't know. Like, I'm enjoying it. Hey, you guys, if you have anything that can access HBO Go and you want, a code for it, let me know. But other than that, not all of you subscribers. Sorry, probably should have clarified that.
I would like to watch True Detective and Game of Thrones because watching it.
You have an Apple TV.
Finding it online. You never get to have like surround sound and crap. So
you have an Apple TV. Start to set up HBO Go on your Apple TV. It'll give you a code. Give me the code, and you're good. It takes like 2 minutes, but it is just so stinking frustrating, and I hate it. So HBO, please let me give you money for something that I would love to give you money for without having to go through all the nonsense. I think it's going to happen though. WWE went to they have a streaming service now. On your PS4, you can get the WWE app for $10 a month. You have access to all WWE stuff. I don't know enough about wrestling, but I know that includes like the WrestleMania pay-per-views, which are traditionally like $60 a pop. Those are included in this $10 a month package, as long as all the old ones and everything else. So they were one of the big holdouts to go into streaming. So they've done it. The NFL is talking about it, and NASCAR is talking about it. So HBO has to not be far behind. But
hopefully, one can hope.
One can only hope. But anyway, guys, that's the podcast for this evening.
Comments of the week.
Comments of the week. Now it's time for comments of the week, where Dave looks at people who English is their second language and reads off what they have to say to us on YouTube.
Actually, it's been a very quiet week. No one used any homophobic slurs to describe my sexual anything or recording games or anything.
You could probably use one from one of my comments from earlier on Skype. That'd be homophobic.
Okay. I will take a couple of comments here. One just out of context because I got this comment in an email and read the end of it first. So I'll just read you guys what my eyes went across first. All I saw was, although good video, I like how you struggle. Smiley face.
He likes how you struggle.
I like how you struggle. Like the happy smiley face made it kind of creepy, but then I read the rest of the comment. It's on my banished video. Like I'm having a hard time keeping my village alive, so it was about my village. But all I saw first was I like how you struggle. Creepy smiley face. And then this one just made me laugh. It's on our podcast from last week, the live late night cast over at Joel's house. And this is from Rexauce2. He says, I don't think I stopped laughing the entire way through that. And Germ's mating calls. Oh boy, the nightmares. That video was just something special.
I hope everyone enjoyed it. It's kind of out of the ordinary for how we normally do podcasts, but we had a fun time doing it. So
barely topical.
Anytime we're all in town together, we ought to try it. But,
yeah,
well, thank you guys for watching this evening. Thank you for sending in questions. Synthetic, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Pimp yourself out real quick. Tell people, explain to people how they can go follow you, and we are giving you the official seal of approval.
All right. Well, you can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/synthetic67, on Twitter at blindasylum78, and that's about it.
All right, well, go find him on those. He'll be in the description of this video when it goes live on YouTube. If you're listening to this on iTunes, thank you for listening. Please go rate and review us on iTunes because it really helps us out. But
that's how I found out about you guys.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Did I contact you first, or did you know about us first?
I knew about you guys first.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking for gaming podcasts on iTunes, and because I listen to podcasts at work, so I found you guys through that.
I thought. So is it totally random that I found you on YouTube and then tweeted at you, and you already were listening to us?
Yeah, I was listening to you first, and then I followed you on Twitter, and then you.
Oh, okay. You followed me on Twitter, and that's how I went to look at your YouTube channel. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
I was trying to remember,
that's pretty cool.
The odds there would be really really crazy. But anyway, yeah. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Definitely.
No problem.
I'm tempted now to try Minecraft Stadium reviews, but I'm behind in all the rest of the games I'm playing. So, the realist in me is telling me you shouldn't do that.
It's a dark door to open.
They're so long these days, too. Like, the last one was an hour long, and so...
Oh, well.
Nice.
But, yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for writing in. Thank you for making the podcast fun, because you guys certainly do. Follow the rest of us online at Evil Viking on Twitter, at JERMgaming, at Casual Shenanigans, and then you can follow us all on YouTube, Synthetic67, or sorry, no, that's not your YouTube name. I'm sorry. I've messed everything up.
Yes.
It is on YouTube. Okay. Yes. And then JERMgaming, Evil Viking 13, and Boundless MP.
Don't miss out on Joel stuff. It's good.
Now, shameless plug. I put up a video as a reminder tomorrow, and if you're listening to this, after the fact, it'll probably be today, Friday, the 11th of April. We are playing Chivalry with you guys at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want to pack out an entire server with all of you lot, and we want to run around chopping each other's limbs and heads and everything off. So the TeamSpeak information is on the video. Just go look at my channel. And, yeah, check it out there. Please come play with us. It'll be awesome. Iceman, you can say, Jerm, I want Norman. I'm not in charge of Norman. Joel is, so...
I want Norman.
Norman. I can't just make him appear.
I am shooting the last big scene this Saturday, so... And then
you almost talked about what it was, didn't you? I can see it, you hesitated there for a second. And this is what it's gonna be.
Yeah. Well... Joel, it's my job. Very busy, so she only has a small sliver of time for filming. mean, she's a pretty big sliver, but my
I was waiting for the follow-up.
To anyone who's not familiar with this, Joel and your mom jokes, I don't know why. He's almost 30 years old, and this is still his thing. We just have to roll with it now. Like, there's no sense in trying to make sense of it.
What would you like me to have?
Just be nice.
I'll change for you.
Just be nice.
Be nice? Alright, I'm going to do that.
You broke Joel there for a second.
I will start being nice.
I don't want you to, Joel. I don't want you to
really
change.
uncomfortable. Like
I don't want you to change. I like you just the way you are.
I'm going to start emailing one of you guys and be like, hey, how's your day going, man?
You do that already.
Do I? I'm a mix of good and bad. I bring out the bad and good of all of you guys.
Alright, well, I guess with that, there's nothing more to be said. So we'll talk to you guys all later.
Thanks for listening.
Alright, bye everybody.
See you guys.
Stay casual.